Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to an afternoon edition of Live Wire Sports Media. So, when it comes down to the referees of the WNBA, we already know what the deal is. So last night in the Chicago Sky versus the Connecticut Sun game, things got heated, and I ain't talking about the players. I'm talking about the coaching and the referees. Yeah. Now, granted, everybody has had their issues with the referees this year. We have seen it numerous times with the Indiana Fever, Stephanie White, everything. But I would never guess in a million years that Tyler Marsh would explode the way he did on the referees. But rightfully so. Now, there's some Chicago Sky content creators, who sports the team, question it, say, hey, he should have been doing it. But sometimes you play nice, you try to give the benefit of the doubt of certain things, and at some point in time, enough is enough, regardless of what the team's record is, injuries to injuries or whatever the case may be. But it's got to be a point where the referees got to be held accountable. So take a look at this clip with what happened last night with Tyler Marsh.
At the top of your screen after this play, he's sitting down right now, but that had been building, and you certainly can't do that, though. You can't charge at Tim Green, the official, and Green doesn't waste any time, ejects him from the game. It looks like Tanisha Wright will be...
Now, as you notice, there was Aaliyah Edwards. She was over the back of Elizabeth Williams, and there was no foul call. The referee was standing right there to make the call. This is not the only time in the game that over back situation has happened and the referee turned a blind eye and looked the other way. We could count 2 times for the Indiana Fever, and it was with who? Asia Wilson over Lexi Hall. That's one. I think that's the second meeting right there. That's blatant right there. Then there was a time where Asia Wilson was over Leah Boston, and she literally looked at the referee and said, and dared the referee to make the call, and he didn't even make the call. So, and then this occurred last night where you had Angel Reese have to help pull her coach back with other assistant coaches and everything like that because the referee failed to do his job. At some point in time, you got to look at it like this. Is these referees going to be held accountable? And apparently no, because Kathy Ingeberg, she allows this stuff to happen. There's no accountability. These referees are not the type of referees that you could get from a professional level. It seemed like they've been coaching high school or little league or whatever the case may be. They don't understand over the back is a foul. I mean, and then the thing about it is you didn't call nothing. You just allowed the play to continue to go on. And Tyler Marsh, rightfully so, had enough. And I can't blame him for that because we have seen this all season long that the referees don't care about doing anything right, just trying to sway things one way to the other. Now, Tyler Marsh did took to the media and he expressed his concerns, and rightfully so.
Coach Christian.
Hi, Coach Christian Winsider. You got ejected today. What was really the breaking point for you, and how was it when you weren't able to coach your team being in the back?
It was hard being in the back and not being out there for the team. Part of me felt like I was let down. Other half of me was like, I had to. It's been egregious all year. breaking point, I mean, you guys saw it was clear as day. And I think that when stuff like that goes uncalled, things happen like that happened last time we played Connecticut. And I don't know how you send one of the same refs from that game to ref us tonight and allow something like that to occur. Not to saying that she was part of it, but it's still the first time that we played Connecticut this season. There's another ref that was here today that was involved in another altercation there. So I feel like we've been getting the short end of the stick all year. And every time that I've gotten attacked this year has been in support of our players. And I think that if not the most respectful coach to the officiating crew, I don't know who is in the league. And with our record and the amount of losses that we have, never do I come up here and blame the refs for our situation. I take the onus always, but it feels like I'm the only one that does that. There's no accountability on the other side of it, and that's the breaking point, because today would have been another game that just went by where we get calls admitting mistakes and nobody has to answer for them. But our players continually have to answer when they don't play well. And our coaches around the league have to continuously answer when they make decisions that don't go their way. And accountability should be had on all fronts, and it's not. And so that was a great one.
Go to Brian.
Everything that Tyler Marsh said was correct. At some point, there got to be accountability. The players go out there and play hard. And yeah, there's a lot of players out there do flop. A lot of them do flop. But when there's obvious foul call there, why not just make the call? You turn the other cheek, and then you get mad when the coaches or players call you out on it. You want to give them a T, you want to get them ejected and stuff like that. I mean, should Tyler Marsh handle it a different way? Maybe so. But then again, why should he? This has been going on all season long. I mean, you look at Stephanie White, she has gotten 4 Ts this year. Tyler Marsh, I think, tied with her with 4 Ts. Now he got ejected. This ain't gonna stop, because guess what? You're gonna probably have Becky Hammond, Cheryl Reese, Stephanie White probably gonna get another one. Nate Tibbetts is getting close to getting ejected. And these coaches have the right to stand up for their players and for their team, and rightfully so, because we have incompetent referees that's officiating the game and they don't know what they're doing. I could see a foul from where I'm sitting at. People at home could see a foul from where they're sitting at. We watching this stuff all day long. There's no, I mean, we see egregious referee officiating in the NFL, baseball, NBA, all over. And people always make excuses, say, well, the referees are human. Well, guess what? If you have 3 or 4 referees on the floor, how hard it is to catch a call. You might not catch every call, but the ones that's blatantly in your face, the ones you should be calling. You rather call phantom calls where nobody's being touched, but you can't call an obvious call when a person is over the back. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. That's why I said that the referee needs some kind of, for one, they do need media training for some of the players. They need officiating training for the referees, because the fact of the matter is these referees don't know what they're doing. And then they get mad. Now, I'm sure Tyler Marshall will get fined, but hey, why does he care? He's standing up for his players. Yeah, they might have 8 or 9 games left in the season, but still, at the same time, you still want fairness. I don't care if it was the second game from last of the season. You want fairness. You want fairness across the board. It shouldn't be where, okay, this team gets the amount of calls. The Connecticut Sun is a sorry team too. So how do they get the benefit of the calls? It doesn't make sense. And props to Angel Reese for, stepping in and pulling her coach back and stuff. We just seen it a couple games ago Stephanie White went off on the referee and Caitlin Clark had to snatch her back. These coaches are fed up with this nonsense. And every time they say something about it in the media, they get fined. You look at Sophie Cunningham, she just got fined 3 times for saying something. And then she said something about Paige getting special whistle and she still gets fined. So it's crazy to me how the WNBA want to sanction certain things, but they can't sanction the right thing. And that's what makes it so bad for people like me, myself, and others tuning in and continue to watch because it's bad. And then it's bad. But that's something that Kathy Engelberg gonna have to deal with. That's something that needs to bring up in the negotiations in the CBA, because the only way you're gonna get it right is you start implementing certain things. So, but shout out to Tyler Marsh. He did the right thing. I would have did the same thing myself. I think he didn't do anything wrong. He's defending his team. He's calling out the BS of the officiating. And like he said, it happened the first time around when these two played. You had Bria Hartley pulling Angel Reese hair. And then these two teams really don't like each other. The Connecticut Sun is probably the worst team in the WNBA. If they ain't getting into brawls or fights or flagrant fouls or certain teams, and the thing about it is the referees don't even call it. We could go back to the Connecticut Sun game against Caitlin Clark where there should have been ejections in that game. There should have been an ejection on Bria Hartley when she pulled Angel Reese hair. But they wanted to jump on Angel Reese because she stood up for herself. There's always tension brewing with one team. And if you don't set an example for that team and say, hey, cut out the nonsense, they're going to continue to do it because they feel like there's nothing going to be done. And the league is not going to step in about it. That's the thing. That's why a lot of people say Kathy Engelberg, well, I call her Kathy Engelberg Crane, she needs to go. She needs to go because she's not policing this league. She's allowing it. She's out here doing whatever, and everybody else just have to take the punishment because she don't want to do her job. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, Livewire Sports Media. You know what it is. See y'all tonight at 7 when the Fever try to get their revenge on Minnesota. Until then, see you on the next video. I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire. It's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it. So official, like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire. Sports and entertainment.